Good evening, everyone. Peace and blessings. Hetepu, Jambo, Salam Alaikum, Shalom, and all of those wonderful, beautiful greetings to the Philadelphia family here. My name is Dr. Kokai Patterson, hailing from the Chocolate City, Washington, D.C., that now has a Marshmallow Center, and gentrification is going on everywhere. The speaker that I'm about to introduce, I met a few months ago and was just in awe at the work that she was doing at a program that we both participated in terms of providing holistic health and information to the community. So much so that in putting this program together here at Black and Nobel's bookstore, it was important for us to come together to do this presentation as we'll be working in the future, I feel. And the work that the sister's doing is of a very, very spiritual nature. When we talk about holistic health and healing, the process of dealing with correcting different problems that we may have, we have to have that holistic approach. And the spiritual component is definitely the base of that. And this sister represents that so very well. Sister Zola deals with vibratory readings and aura and chakra clearing, totem, chi, numerology, and Akashic record. Okay, and I'm going to get that word down better and better as we move on. So let's welcome the sister and open up your hearts and your minds and your spirits so that we can all learn and we can all grow. Thank you.
I'm Zola, and I'm a high priestess, I'm a doula, I'm a mother. I'm currently studying to become a naturopathic doctor. I'm currently studying to become a doctor of metaphysics. I'm specializing in holistic life coaching. I'm a certified natural holistic consultant. I do many things, but it's all centered in spirituality. And basically my work is all about holistic health. So that's on the mental, physical, and the spiritual planes. And so that's why I'm studying, and the things that I'm studying, that's why I'm going for certifications and what I'm going to be certified in. And to break it down and boil it down, I hope people to turn on their lights. I hope people to turn on their lights. So when you're little, you know, when you're young in age, it's very easy because you come in with your light on. But as you get older, you know, your body and your mind start to become restricted in certain ways. And you forget certain things about yourself and you lose your center. You become very, especially in adolescence, you become focused on everything external and identify yourself with what you're told to identify yourself with. So what I hope folks to do is to reevaluate themselves, reassess their goals, and really become centered. The popular ways that people do that nowadays is through meditation and yoga. I can say that in many ways I'm a product of what happens when you really are very serious about that. And, well, I'm a product, my skills and abilities, the things that I do and the ways that I help folks, the methods that I use. When you do those things for years and years, and you're very serious and you're very sincere, and you start to use that as your center. You do your morning rituals where you wake up and instead of just hitting a shower and getting a coffee and going out into the world, you actually center yourself in your own world, in your own space, and become one again first thing in the morning before you try to go and deal with everything that's going on. And that's one of the reasons, because of not being centered, that's why, you know, we have so many issues with health, because they're not centered. Having proper mental health and proper spiritual health is one of the ways to alleviate and prevent physical ailments. Especially if you can understand this on the mental plane, as far as with mental diseases and some things that actually would be classified and could be classified as a mental disease aren't really handled in that way in the medical field. So, especially you can think of someone you know that's angry all the time. That's not necessarily a clinical issue, but it definitely is a social problem. where, you know, any one simple thing could trigger them into a chaotic episode, and it could, you know, become a traumatic experience that they never ever get over. So we already talked about what happens in the morning, things you can do to center yourself. What about at the end of a long day? How to recenter yourself. How to, you know, release things that have happened during the week. If you studied the Kemetic legacy at all, you know about the 42 modes of Ma'at. Where first thing in the morning, I have not, you know, killed anyone. I have not turned over any graves. I have not, you know, defecated in the water system. I haven't done these, you know, terrible things. Or I will not do that. You say that first thing in the morning. At the end of the day, I have not done these things. So really recenter yourself from all the things that you've had to do. And you know, in the spiritual mindset that we have now, we're starting to understand that spirituality is more than going to church on Sundays or going to mosque or, you know, or the synagogue on Fridays or what have you. It's more than that. We're getting back into the mentality that spirituality is everywhere. And what makes you know, a place spiritually centered is the people that are in it and the mindset that they have, that they carry and bring with them. Because it wouldn't take but 2 minutes to, you know, lay out, you know, some scarves or, you know, put some crystals out or, you know, put some prayers up and have a prayer center. But it takes the mindset to do that. And whatever your work is, you can carry that with you. But the thing is, how do you do that? How do you get into that mode without, you know, getting carried away with chanting all day? Or, you know, not being able to touch the ground anymore. This is what this is the work that I do where I help folks get centered in that. You heard of life coaching, but holistic life coaching, so that you're not only eating the right things, you're not only using your words for empowerment, you're not only, you know, being mutually beneficial relationships, but spiritually, you're in a spiritual system that actually helps you to be inspired every day, that helps to pull you out of, you know, drastic situations and grounds you so that it's empowering irregardless of what the situation is. And that's not something, you know, like reinventing the wheel. All religions have very potent information in it. It's just that you have to read it for yourself. You have to read it for yourself, and you have to look at it through your own eyes. Because, you know, just the way that any of these books, if we all read the same book, I'm going to get different things out of it than you're going to get out of it. There's certain things in that book you'll remember that I didn't even really catch on to maybe when I glanced over and read it. This is the same thing with religion, and there's no point necessarily in arguing saying my thing is better than your thing. The path that I'm on, in holistic health and being a high priestess, in the line that I'm in, the lineage that I'm in, we use all the ways that we come across. So if you're a Taoist, if you're into Buddhism, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, if, you know, you're into Islam, if you're a Moor, there are ways to use the book that you already have that you may not be aware of to really center you during the day or at any time and in real life situations. One of the things that I've started doing a month ago is called Woman Alive Ministry. And basically, it generated because some sisters came up to me and we were talking about, you know, I want to learn I want to become more spiritually developed. Because, you know, academically you can go to school for that, to learn facts, and learn how to, you know, pick up trades and skills, and it's necessary. You have to, you know, there's certain things in the physical realm that you can't let just, you know, fall to the wayside. But then at the same time, spiritual development is more than just, you know, making it to church or making it to mosque. It's more than just making it there and showing up. Because that's very easy to do. You already, you know, you got your money, you got your car, you can ride there, catch your bus, whatever, to physically get there, but to mentally and to be there in your heart, that's a whole nother ballgame. So this is why you'll have folks that attend these, you know, religious functions and then commit horrible acts within their family. or against their family. This is how you'll have, you know, the high divorce rate within marriages, because when you enter into it, it wasn't with your heart. It was with your words, which really weren't that powerful, and, you know, with a mindset of maybe this is just what I'm supposed to be doing, or I think I owe this person, but I don't really understand, and I have some issues about, you know, my past, or maybe, you know, things going on with growing up with a family that, you know, maybe I grew up in an abusive household. These are all serious issues that I help, especially women. Most of my clients are women. Mostly, I would say, 40 and up. Because folks that are younger than that tend to not take life seriously. But yeah, 40 and up women. And it's surprising the situation that they've grown up in, as far as a lot of them grew up either, you know, in a very religious household, but spiritually, to, you know, character development, that didn't happen necessarily, because it was enough to just go. It was just enough to just go to the church, or go to the mosque, or go to, you know, the functions, and, you know, just attend. And if you, you know, see your name, check it off, you were there. Not really. Not really. So in helping people, this is part of the work, is helping them to identify themselves, because usually when folks come to me, it's usually because they're at like a crossroads, where they could either zig or zag, and they're not sure exactly what to do, and they most likely, 9 times out of 10, they already received the confirmations that they need. It's just that they haven't developed that eye to really have that, and not only the eye, but the confidence within themselves, not only spiritually, but just as a regular everyday person. They don't have the confidence in themselves to know, like, okay, this is what I should be doing. So in talking about that, I can say a couple of things about the chakras and the energy readings that I do. I do aura, chakra, chi, totem, numerology, Akashic record readings. I come up with mantras and chants for folks, and this is on a personal, individual level. So these are, you know, consultations, much like you would go to see a doctor for just like a checkup. There's, you know, you're supposed to be able to do that with whatever religious house you go to. This is something that we're supposed to be able to do. So I'm not saying that I'm the only, because I know I'm not the only person doing this. But the thing is that it's usually not done. People don't usually think about doing these things until there's some kind of crisis. I want to get a divorce. I'm about to have a baby, do a baptism. Somebody died, and I need some counseling through that, or we need you to come and do the services. But or I need some money. There are, even when there's not anything going on to that degree, there are ways to prevent things from going chaotic, or ways to maintain mental health through spiritual means. And one of the ways that I do that is through reading. So usually at events, I will do the aura readings, which is, if you're not familiar with the aura, you go like this. Your 3-foot space, where, you know, if you have your eyes closed, somebody walks up on you, like, you know, can you distance yourself? Or I'm going to move over because I just need my space. That's your aura. And it takes a certain bit of, just a low level really of an intuitiveness to be able to pick up on things like that. So for, you know, if you want to try it later on, you know, just have someone close your eyes and have someone as silently as they can walk up behind you. That's your energy field. Now that could be, you know, if you stand up here and somebody's coming all the way back, and I felt the energy in the room shift, or I think, you know, somebody behind me, that's how big your energy field is. So, you know, as a human being, you feel like, okay, this is my body, but your energy field is so much bigger. Your energy field is so much bigger, which brings me to, I know Dr. Kokai is going to talk about acupressure and acupuncture points. As an energy reader, I'm telling you, your aura comes out to here, and some of you in this room may have, you know, your senses may go all the way out there, and it can be bigger than that. It can be bigger than that. Seriously. With acupuncture points, that's on your physical vessel. And you know, there's certain points where you can touch to make things change in your mind, to be able to make better decisions, to be able to move energies, move blockages around, and just clear out space. This is on your physical body. And these are like little dots. You've seen them with the needles where they stick them at certain points? And when you're talking spiritually or energetically, it's a whole lot bigger. When someone comes to me, I can see what's in their aura, and not all auras are the same. I have never seen two people with auras that were exactly the same. Some folks have, especially if they're already like an energy worker, or they're into Reiki, or they're into yoga. Yoga helps you to be more flexible, and it also helps you energetically to have your energy flow. So same as Tai Chi, Qigong, all that kind of stuff. And exercising, riding a bike, walking, swimming, anything where you're constantly moving and you're working out your joints and all of that. One way in physical you can feel that is at the end of that you can feel the heat come off of a person, right? Or when you're doing it, you can feel the heat come off of you. Now if you were to, there is a machine where they can take a picture of your aura. There's a place called Sacred Green Earth in Oakland, New Jersey. They're one of the places that have it. And from what I've heard, I've had folks go and take a picture, and then I will confirm, without knowing that they had taken the picture or seen the picture, I will confirm to them what they had seen, and then vice versa. So the validity is there scientifically. And there's books, there's a book called The Secret Life of Plants, where they're talking about using pendulums. The Russian, I think it's the Russian military using pendulums. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically like one of those things where it's the weight at the end of it, and they're trying, you know, they call it divining in some aspects. But the Russian military was using that to find hidden resources so they could tap into that. They would get into helicopters high in the sky and travel all over to find water, to find gold, to find all kinds of things. But these are, I mean, The Secret Life of Plants, that's a book that you can get if you want to see more into, you know, things that the military uses, see things the government uses, spiritual tools that they use, that they'll tell you, oh no, there's no validity to that. That has nothing to do with anything, and you need to go back to church, or go back to the mosque, you know, because we know they're not going to teach you that there, or then it's not going to be as open, right? So the aura readings, the chakras, there are, the main 7 chakras are the root, navel, solar plexus, heart, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra. Each of these have specific areas in your life that they, well, specific times in your life that they develop. And the top 3 that I've seen issues with are the root, which is, that has to do with self-esteem, ability to make sure that your needs are met, making sure that you have your money, self-esteem, self-confidence, and just your survival skills. All of it, and self-worth, feeling worthy of being able to achieve your goals. That's all in the root chakra, and that's, I would say that is the top area where folks have the most problems, is the lack of faith in themselves, because the root chakra develops between the time that you're in the womb until the time you're about 7 years old. So if there were traumatic experiences, if mom and dad separated, they were divorced, if, you know, there was a lot of fighting going on, if you got, you know, underwent a lot of social pressures and all of that, and you never got the chance during that, you know, 7-year time span to actually heal from that, emotionally, psychologically, you will carry that with you for the rest of your life, and that will affect everything. When there are traumatic experiences that a person goes through without seeking either professional help, or they don't do any type of self-help, then that turns into a real actual blockage. And remember, so that was the root chakra. Now, glandularly, medically, that could show up as STDs. That could show up as prostate, or that could show up as some kind of testicular or penile dysfunction or problem like that. That's all, you know, in self-identification on that level. The next level up would be the navel chakra, which has to do with your relationships. For women, that's an underproductive area. And the reason for that is, you know, the relationships that we tend to have with men are not what we tend to project from when we're little. You know, girls are little, they're trained to believe in princes and, you know, Prince Charming and all that kind of stuff, this fairy tale thing. And I'm not sure what men are taught to believe when they're little. But this idealistic relationship where everything is going to be perfect, obviously, and not really understanding how real life works, and just letting the media and everything train us about how relationships are going to go, whether you're male or female, is very detrimental on that aspect, because women don't know how to respond to men, and the men aren't sure what to do with the women. So that chakra usually tends to need some work. Next one up is the solar plexus. That's the will. The color for that one is yellow, and that's really your determination, where the umph to do something comes from. That's really in the solar plexus and the diaphragm area. Usually that's really easy to work on. It's really just a form of meditation that I do with folks when they're on the table, to just get them to understand the energy. It's very easy to feel, and it's just focusing on that and being able to use it. Then you have the heart chakra. One of the biggest things about that is not the love factor, but the being able to be compassionate and not be cruel or cold-hearted. To have a warm heart center is a very positive thing to be able to experience. And one of the things that, if you have a super developed big heart center, then being able to sense someone in the room, or sense energies, you know, or really like, I don't think I should take on this endeavor, or maybe this business thing isn't working, you know, that I just know type of thing, that's where that's coming from. That's where that's coming from. And we have the throat chakra. The throat chakra, that has a lot to do with the hands, because with your throat, that's how you project what you desire, what you want, and your ability to communicate. But this is also where you find your vocation, as far as what you are specifically designed to do. I've seen folks with blockages on their throat chakra, which means that they're going to get stuck in a job that they most likely cannot stand. But speaking up and speaking out and saying, okay, well, this is what I want to do, this is what I was designed to do, and I'm not happy here, and being able to be honest, that comes from here. Now, the third eye is one chakra that's heavily publicized, because this is the one where you see things that other people can't see. You're having visions. Your dreams are probably pretty potent if your eye isn't on and you're not having visions of things during your waking hours. Your dreams are mostly very vivid. They're in color. And you may have certain guides that come to visit you during those time periods. I help folks to develop, you know, their chakras, especially the third eye. Sometimes you can see, there's people out there that have, you know, an arrangement of chakras where some are on, some are not on, some are cold, some are unproductive, some are overproductive, but you need a balance of all of them to be able to harness your own power. This is how, you know, folks that are charismatic, folks that, you know, just things seem to click for them. It's not because, you know, they're more favored than you. It's that they're using their power. You know, everyone comes in with different energy levels. You don't come in equal. You don't necessarily come in equal, but the access, they have the same access to power that you have. It's just that if you're feeling like, oh, you know, life is really being difficult with me, and things are tough and things are hard, then really search within yourself. Okay, well, what is it in your aura that's blocking what you want? What is it in your determination device, your solar plexus, your will, that's not strong enough to really get what you want? Is this what you want? what you say that you want, is that what you want? Are you being really honest with yourself? These are the things that I use spirituality based methods to help folks determine for themselves, because on a certain level it's not necessarily the goal that they're really after, it's the success and the satisfaction and the fulfillment of reaching that goal. So these are two separate things. Is it, you're after success, or you after fame? Is, you're proving something to someone, or is it really that you want that $1 million? You want to feel like that, or do you have a plan for how you're going to spend that money? You see what I'm saying? These are the in-depth things that I help folks to come across. The other readings that I do, totem, that would be the animal spirits. Whereas you've maybe heard of like the Native American lineages where a boy or girl reaches a certain age and they leave the village to go on a vision quest. The vision quest is you travel for a while and you haven't eaten or drank anything in a few days, and all of a sudden you have this vision of some type of creature coming to tell you what you should do with your life, who you really are, why you're here. You see what I'm saying? Those are very important questions that not just Native Americans had, but they developed a path to be able to get the answer. What I do with the totem readings is we're able to determine what your energy is as far as what animal is for you. What else to do? Most folks know about the Reiki. The types of Reiki that I do are the Japanese form, the Sui Shiki Ryoho Reiki. That's the symbols in that are mostly for clearing and maintaining balance. Then there's Tibetan Reiki. A lot of that is about rising the Kundalini energy. And then what folks are not as familiar with is the Kemetic Reiki, where you are developing your higher self. This is important because this spiritual work that you're doing or you would engage in is not easy, but it's very much necessary. We've heard of karma, we've heard of reincarnation, we've heard of all these things. Whether you believe in them or not, these tools can be helpful for you right now. They can empower you and they can help you live more peaceful, more satisfying, more harmonious, more fulfilling days while you're alive here now. You don't want to, when we get into debate about whether you're going to, what happens after you die. Well, you're here right now. Why don't we focus on that? Why are you mad? Why are you angry? Why you don't feel fulfilled? Why is it that, you keep getting into these relationships that don't work out? Why is it, having these children, you don't know why they're here. You don't know what to help them with. You don't know what to do. These are all cultural issues. There's social issues. There are men's issues, women's issues, family issues, national issues. But you have to handle these things on a personal level, because if you want to have a productive and fulfilling future, just being alive and feeling alive and being connected, a lot of folks can identify with, well, when I was younger, I felt like I could do anything. Or when I was younger, I felt like, I wanted to grow up to be this, or I wanted to grow up to be that. Okay. And then as you get older, something says that those are like pipe dreams, or that's not possible, or that's just, why would you be able to accomplish your dreams? Why are you special? You're just a normal, average person. And some people stay in that mental state forever. They stay there for their lives and they're not very happy. Or they try to make do with, like, hey, well, this is it. This is just going to be my life. And it's not about, having some type of spectacular, mansion or being able to travel whenever you feel like and not do anything all day and not have any responsibilities. That's not at all what this is about. Is being able to do, be a well-rounded person to be happy, to not react to things in a way that's going to make your problems worse. These are the things that these holy books are talking about, where you have these, historical figures, Jesus, Isa, Muhammad, Buddha, the sages, the different ascended masters, and we're so used in this time period to be like, oh, well, those are, less than 1,000 so years ago, or 100 some years ago. Everyone is supposed to be able to attain these levels. It's supposed to be within your reach. It's not supposed to be something that's a secret. And, we're in the age of Aquarius, all the secrets are coming out. Why is that? And is it doing anyone any good? Do we have more masters? Do we have more? Because you can right-click it on YouTube, Because you can find anything on YouTube, right? We all know this. Okay, well, what kind of things are you looking up? Big Booty Judy? Or are you looking up how to develop your mental mind? Or are you looking up how to, to center yourself during certain situations? Do you know how to release repression and subdued emotions about things that have happened to you in your past? Do you know why, you're going through the same thing over and over and over and over again? Do you know how to release yourself from those cycles? These are the things that are, very important to just being able to live a healthy life. Instead of getting old, getting sick, and dying. That doesn't sound like a very optimistic future. At some point, I'm going to get old, get sick, and die. And I'm probably going to die in a hospital, and, that's just what people do. Probably going to be one of those people that have a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday pill. And I'm just going to decay in the ground at some point. That's not very... No. Whereas you have comparison folks that were more aware of who they are. If you say, well, I don't want to really do all that spirituality stuff, that sounds like so, I don't understand metaphysics, but it just seems like a whole lot of nonsense. Voodoo is bad, all these kinds of things. Okay, well, what is your answer for your problems? Do you know how to alleviate your problems? Do you know how to change your stance so that the same thing or the same people don't get you? Earlier today when I was on the conference call, we were talking about the button that everybody has. Everybody has a button where if you push it, it pops. And you want to get into a fight, you want to cuss somebody out, you want to cut somebody up, and that's just it. And how, and when that button gets pushed, you automatically assume that whoever pushes that button did it on purpose. And you can't calm yourself down and be like, this was just a misunderstanding. I'm not going to black out. I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to let this ruin my day. I'm not going to dwell on this for the next 5 years. I'm not going to talk about this person later on and handle the situation right now in a productive way and just move on with my life. Not to the point where this is going to become a problem. And I can tell you this, that a lot of physical health issues when you get older, the main reason is because of the drama, the issues, the confusion that we're not handled with. And a couple generations back, it was the thing to not talk about certain things that happen, either in the family or just even outside of the house. If you have your problems, you don't talk to anybody about them. And this is one of the reasons why the older generation, or the eldest generation I can say, is having so many health problems. Why they have like a list of things that are allegedly wrong with them medically, and why there's so many prescriptions for these problems. Now, if you had, in 1950, 60 something, you had a problem with so-and-so, and it resulted in you losing your house, or you losing your man, or your family falling apart, that was a huge, big thing for you. It doesn't matter that it happened in the 50s and 60s, but whenever that would happen to anyone, that's a big thing in life. And what we tend to do is just like, okay, well, I'll just figure it out. I'll just deal with it for right now. All right. Yes, you have to solve it in some kind of, get back into some type of normalcy. But the fact that an event happened that traumatized you to the point where I'm never getting married again. I am, I can't fly planes, or I don't want to, I'm scared of heights, I'm scared to swim, I don't want to learn, I don't know, I can't go to college, I can't do, you know, all of these things where all these mental blocks, that turns into a physical problem. That will turn into, and you know, especially depression. And the one thing, fibromyalgia, pain all over the place, usually that person has gone through so much trauma in their life that they really do hurt all over. They hurt all over. And, you know, yeah, sure, I'll take 20 pills if you want me to. I'll do a patch, I'll take a shot, whatever, just to zone me out enough so I don't think about anything that's happening. Those are, you know, situations where you need help. You need help. And I know in our community, that's like, what are you talking about? I don't need any help. I don't need nothing. I'm good. Everything is good. It's all good. Liar. Liar. And that's, you know, being able to admit that. That's not being weak. This is going to stress out your adrenaline glands. This is going to, you know, not dealing with it. And I'm good. You know, I'm a man. I'm a woman. I take care of my, you know, I don't need nobody telling me how to raise my kids. All of that kind of stuff. You need somebody to tell you something. You know, you need to talk to somebody. You don't want to listen. Talk. What's going on? You know, being able to have that trust is a big deal. That's a big deal. Being able to talk to each other in that way. Right now, it's happening on the spiritual level, which is only fitting because everything happens on the spiritual level before it manifests in the physical. So, you know, today you're hearing it from my priestess, but tomorrow you're going to be hearing it from your friend. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to feel better because there's a lot of energy clearing that needs to happen you know, there's a lot of energy clearing that needs to happen because there's lots of blockages from the top to bottom and the bottom to top. Which is, when I'm saying that, I'm talking not just, you know, government and, you know, the lay person, but individually, from higher to lower self, and from lower to higher self. When you become advanced in your energetic work, you have to, like the changing of the guards, energy has to flow. So when we talk about your chi, that's a lot like your bloodstream, where your blood has to flow. And if it don't, that's a problem. Your chi is just as serious, it's just as severe. Where it's like, okay, well, I've been trying my best to, you know, get this degree, or I've been trying my best to pass this test, and it's just not happening. Well, there's something going on that's blocking it. But we, you know, tend not to think like that because it can't possibly, you know, spirituality and religion, I'm not into all of that. You don't have to be into religion as far as, you know, going to some type of organized thing. And you don't have to be, you know, going to anything big or huge. But you do have to cultivate your own energy. Even if it's, you know, even if you're like an atheist, even then, that's in a way, it's a lifestyle. A lifestyle. And any lifestyle where it's maintaining itself as self-sufficient, that in itself is a religion. It is a religion. You don't have to identify with any Superman or woman up in the sky, but you do have to manage your own energy. And when you're dealing with holistic health, one of the main things is the responsibility of the person seeking help. That you have to know how you feel. You have to know when things are, you know, going on with you, and you have to take personal responsibility for your own energy. You cannot, you know, just live however you want to live for 20, 30, 40 years, and then decide I'm going to go to a doctor and he's going to solve my problems. All right. Well, financially, do you do that? I went to gambling and I spent all of my money, and now I'm going to give all my money to this guy over here, and he's going to solve all my problems. You don't even do that with your money, but you'll do that with your body. That's not healthy. That's a mental situation. Or, you know, I'm young, and I'll just, you know, I'll get it together later on in life. Why? that's taking things for granted. That's not healthy either, you know? That's not healthy either. One of the other things I wanted to talk about briefly is, I know for men, there seems to be a shortage of, there seems to be a very big shortage of things available out. As far as manhood development, as far as identifying your true self, and that's not, I'm not saying, okay, well, because dad wasn't there, I'm not talking about all of that. Even if your dad was there for you, even if mommy and daddy were, you know, mommy stayed home and daddy went to work and you had a house full of brothers and sisters, there are still people that have had all of that. Even if you came from, you know, the Silver Spoon Society, you will have problems. Life is not supposed to be cake. It is not a cakewalk. It's not supposed to be easy. And you come into the flesh, you automatically took on problems from the gate. Okay? It's not supposed to be so, you know, there's over-complaining. Over-complaining. That's step one. And your problems are so... and they are, right? Because they're your problems. But the thing is, you know, if you're in the picture, it's hard to take a look, you know, a step back and see the big picture. Spiritually, you look at problems. You don't say, well, I have problems, or I am depressed. You are not depression. I am depressed. You are not depression. I am depressed. No, you're not. You are having, you're having challenges. Wouldn't that be better to say, I'm having some challenges right now? That pulls you away from it. I am not depressed, but I'm having some challenges right now. I have my clients say, I'm being attacked by depression right now. I'm being attacked. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be depressed. So I know one of the easiest things, one simple way, we don't do spirituality, do something nice for someone else. When you're starting to feel down, do something nice. Take somebody else out. Because when you get depressed, you get really stuck in your own crap to the point where nobody want to be around you. No one wants to be around you. So if you can pull yourself out of it, if you feel uncomfortable with talking to anyone, a friend, a parent, a professional, or someone, you know, spiritually about certain things, and you think like, I'm really dealing with depression, do something nice for someone else. Because that will start to bring you start to feel good about yourself. You know, you're making someone else happy, which what kind of person are you that, you know, making someone else happy doesn't make you happy? You know? And really appreciating things. When you're depressed, it's hard to appreciate anything at all. Everything is terrible, everything is bad, and you can't move. So when you plan to do something nice for someone else, you're getting out of your own situation. You're going to go out and have a good time. You're going to smile. You're going to appreciate the breathing. And that'll take you out of your own funk. It'll take you out of your own funk, and you won't think about that. You're focusing on, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You know, I haven't seen you in a while. You know, what's up? Are you enjoying yourself? You know, you get back into that, so then you can go back to your situation, but not be in your situation. These things are happening to you, but it isn't you. And sometimes we have an identity crisis in the way that I am my problems. I am my problems, and if I was a successful person, I wouldn't have none of this happening to me. That's not true. You read some biographies, some autobiographies of the people you think are the most successful, they went through some stuff. So, you know, I guess, if I have to end now, your spirituality, if you're at all into that, it should be a lifestyle that you design for yourself. It doesn't have to be something that's been patented, that has an official book, and that has, you know, a guard that goes with it. In certain places in the world, you'll have a person who lives on this side who, well, I mean, that's here too. But even in the most collective societies, everyone has their own entity. And it's not like my entity is better than yours, and that's just it, and you need to come over here and do what we doing, or you ain't, you know what I mean? No. Your energy is your energy. You were born on your birthday at your time of day in that flesh, and that's designed for you. your methods of reaching peace and happiness and harmony and all of that. Those are your methods. But you should be able to holistically be able to center yourself, to be able to be healthy. To be able to be healthy. Whatever it is that you practice, doesn't matter what it is, it should be able to bring you into full health. And it should be something that challenges you to be the best type of person that you can be and not cause problems for other people. Be able to appreciate yourself and others and to be the best type of lover of you and in oneness and being healthy and being able to promote that and spread that. Not that you have to be doing lectures or, you know, putting out flyers or, you know, have to be all about that, but whatever your work is, it should be satisfying and fulfilling to you in a way that keeps you healthy and moving.